So I want to read a few different quotes from Jordan Love after yesterday's loss and sort of what he had to say. So first off, he says this: we all know it's ups and downs, but I think everyone's very frustrated. We've got to find a way to win. Got to find a way to win these games. We've been put in this position multiple times where it comes down to offense has to go win the game, and we have not capitalized on that. We had that game against the Saints where Jordan Love led a great comeback. We win that game. Sort of felt like, okay, maybe this is a guy who, in the moments you need him most, can come through and win those games on big drives. But against the Raiders, Love wasn't able to make it happen through an interception. Against the Broncos this past game, same thing, throws an interception. And so the Packers have somehow almost come back in those games, even though they've had such slow starts. But still, Love has been unable to capitalize in those big moments. And I would imagine this team is pretty frustrated the way that they've looked the past few weeks. Then he says, so we've got to find a way, just that margin of error, and we are not capitalizing on these end-of-game situations. I think going forward, I think the situations are going to keep coming, keep being there until we find a way to capitalize and go win. And so right now, I feel like all we can hope for is that the Packers can improve and get better, because it felt like the first couple weeks we were doing pretty good. There were some problems, but there was a lot of good to take away. And I feel like the past few weeks, it's sort of been a decline. It feels like we've gotten worse, not better over the past few weeks. And so I hope at this point we can start to go the other direction. Then Love says this about taking downfield shots. He says, we obviously want to take as many shots downfield as we can. We want to force the envelope, and we've just got to put more pressure on the defense. And I think we've just got to look at what we're doing and figure out what mistakes we're making, what we're doing good, and go from there. So Jordan Love, if you look at his deep ball stats, has been really, really bad. Has lots of interceptions on his deep throws. His completion percentage throwing deep is a problem, and I hope he can clean it up, but if it continues, it's obviously going to be a problem. Then he says this when asked if the Packers really have what they need to play in the way when it comes to taking deep ball shots, and he says 100%. We've got playmakers on the outside of receiver. I think that's what they do well, is running downfield, and I think that's what we've got to do. We've got to put some more pressure on the DBs, and then it'll open up more checkdowns and open up more room for playmakers to make plays. And we saw in that game against the Broncos, the first half, the Packers were just doing little short passes, dinking and dunking. I think Love started off 10 of 13, so completion percentage looked good. I think it was only for 40-something yards, and obviously, it's great if you have a high completion percentage, but if you're not pushing the ball down the field and you're getting a few yards and getting 3 and outs, obviously it doesn't really help anything. And so when the Packers started pushing the ball on the field, there was some success, but also, too, you have that interception. So it's sort of tough right now just because Love is struggling with a deep ball. Who knows if it's all on him? Obviously not the best reads on some of those passes, but still, too, you'd hope that his receivers could win consistently and that he could, those guys could learn to connect on those, deep passes. But work in progress, no doubt. Let's hope they can figure out the issues soon. But those are the quotes I wanted to share. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below.